Hey, this is Amadou here, back with another video, and I'm looking over here because my PC is actually over here. You should be able to hear pretty well, I think. Yeah, let me get closer. Anyways, as always, this is like I think this is number 6 now, so yeah, that's what's up. And the topic I want to talk about today is just simply like, hold on, let me close this thing real quick. Yeah, okay. So the topic I want to talk about today is just simply what I think was one of the best decisions I've ever made in my life, and that decision was learning sales. Now, you probably heard this 1,000 times. Yeah, you have to learn sales, business about sales, all of that. But let me explain you something and let me explain it in a way that you've never heard before. And once you hear this, it will click in your head and you will realize, holy shit, if I want to be successful in life, I gotta learn sales. And I'm gonna break down what sales actually is. So, before doing that, let me just go a little bit back into what my background is. So, as a kid, I was always into like video games. I was into League of Legends. If you know, you know. I started playing League of Legends when I was around 6 years old. Type shit. I was never good. I was never good. Yeah, I never made it out of gold. But anyways, for those who know, they know. Anyways, as a kid, I was always into like video games. I wasn't good with people at all. I was very in my own thing, and I always, because I was always into video games and I had a computer when I was younger, I always figured, yeah, I will be a programmer, right? I would just program stuff, and that will be what I do for work, right? And even though I had a computer and even though I had access to the internet, and I believe me, I used the internet in quite many ways, I never really got like I never really went deep into programming. I don't know if maybe it was because I just wasn't motivated, or maybe I just preferred playing video games. But there was always something. I would start learning how to program, and then I would just like stop learning how to do it, and I wouldn't get further than the very basics, right? And I don't know why. I never did it. And I never really learned how to program. And I would invest in shit like buy courses, buy books, and get material together, install the softwares to start coding and shit. And I would learn the basics, but I would never go any further than that. Like the most I've done is like create a little app that probably now you can create like 10x better, like 100,000 times better version, just lovable. But anyways, just a little app for a science project where you could like search for a chemical element, and it will kind of like return all the information regarding the chemical element. And if you search for some specific information regarding that chemical element, since they're all very different, it will kind of like return. It was basically a query program, and it was pretty cool. Now you'll think I'm not going anywhere with this, but I promise I am. Anyways, I did that, and I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life. And when I was in high school, COVID hit. I didn't know what the hell to do, and I was just at home doing nothing, right? That was one of the worst periods in my life, but that's like a video for another time. Just kind of depressed playing League of Legends and all that. But anyways, and then I kind of like discovered self improvement and stuff, and I kind of like got into the whole like make money online. Now, bear in mind, I was that kid who was like 8, 10, looking online on like how to make money, right? I was looking, okay, how can I get money? Okay, I can get maybe a scholarship. How can I get a scholarship for this and that? How can I get money? Type shit. Uh, when I wasn't distracted by video games, at least. And I was always interested in the concept of like money and making money, right? And when I was in high school in my fourth year, I think it was the fourth year, I think, before my fourth year actually, I just COVID was in, and we were all locked in, and oh, okay. Okay, hold on. Let me pause this real quick. Let me pause this. Hey, sorry for the break. My dad was calling me. Had to reply to the call. Hey, it's nice talking to the pops. Anyways, man, I was talking about like what I was doing in high school, and I was always like trying to get into making money and stuff, and trying to make money online. And when during COVID lockdown, I actually was like looking at videos, and it was like freelancing is the thing, right? So I was like, okay, what skills do I got? What can I do to make money? And I had zero skills. I had nothing. I didn't know shit, nigga. The only thing I knew I could do is that like my English at school was pretty decent, right? By watching a lot of YouTube videos and being on the internet since I was basically a jit, since I was like real little, like since I was like 6 years old, I was always on the internet. I'm not gonna say every day, but basically almost every day. On YouTube and playing Flash games. If you know, you know Flash games, Miniclip. That's the shit right there. Anyways, doing that, and so my English was decent. I English class was always the easiest class for me. I used to say English class is not even a class, bro. You're just coming in, talking, having fun and giggles, right? Laughing and shit. You know what I'm saying? That was what easy in class. Never put any effort in it, but I was naturally good at it. Yes, being raised with like more than one language in the household really kind of helped me with that. Makes it easier to learn languages. Anyways, I knew English really well, and so I was like, shoot, that's the only thing I know. Let me get into maybe like translating. And I was like, yeah, I was trying to see how I can find projects for translating English to Italian shit. And obviously, you know, nobody's gonna hire a translator. At the time, I wasn't even 18 years old, so nobody was gonna hire me for like a part-time job or something like that. And but remote work was really going strong at the time, and so I tapped into an opportunity to be an English to Italian interpreter, and I took that motherfucker. And actually, in the first month, I think, actually, it wasn't the first month, it was like in 1 week of working this English to Italian interpreting thing, I was making like $100. I made $100 in that week, and then the month after that, I made like 500, $600. And now you may think, oh, that's not much. But to a nigga who's in high school doing nothing, nigga, I was like, because how it worked, basically, I would have like a dial, like I would have a Skype number. And when I clocked in, my Skype number would be active and calls would be forwarded to my Skype number. And I would just interpret some stuff. Like, I'm not gonna go into the details because I probably signed some contracts and stuff back then, and I absolutely do not remember what I signed. It. I don't want to get in trouble, but it was related to COVID because there were a lot of stuff going on. It was an opportunity, right? And I took it, and people needed me to be interpreting from English to Italian and from Italian to English, right? And I took that opportunity, and calls would come, and I would pick up the phone, and I would be paid per minute that I was on calls, right? And so I would literally put my 2K on. I didn't even, bro. I was so broke. I didn't even have the new 2K. It was like 2020. I still had two motherfucking 2K16 on the PS3, my nigga. That's how you know a real one. Anyways, I put my 2K16. I was doing my career, doing my thing. I had my headphones in. I had my phone there, and as soon as somebody called, put the volume all the way down on 2K16 and just like interpret while I'm playing the game. And I basically spent half the summer just like this, right? And when school started, I was trying to do the same thing. The only issue was that, like, you know, peak hours for the interpreting gig were like colliding with the peak with the hours I was supposed to be at school, so it was kind of hard, but I was still trying. Like every minute I have free, I was trying to take these calls to make some money. What I'm trying to say is that, unbeknownst to me, by the way, the opportunity came through Upwork. I applied to the job, to the position, and I got it. But unbeknownst to me, I actually implemented the number one success principle in life, and I think that's what's going to take me to become a billionaire, which is just can be summarized by one word, which is to ask. Asking is the single most powerful thing that you can do to get what you want. And now you would say, well, what do you mean asking is the most powerful thing that you can do to get what you want? What do you mean? Like, Like, motherfucker, you mean asking a question? I mean asking for what you want. Let me play out an example, right? Let's say you a dude, right? You're a single dude out here trying to get some chicks, right? You see what a lot of dudes do? What a lot of dudes do who are dumb. I'm just being straight up honest. They're dumb. They dress up nice. Maybe they get a good haircut. Like they dress up what they think like is fashionable or like looks decent, right? They think they dress in whatever way thinks it looks good. They try to like get the perfect haircut to optimize their looks, and then they go out where the chicks at. So they go out to a nightclub or shit like that, and then they just stand there, wait for chicks to go hit up on them. Most youths just look at what most youths do. They go to the club, they maybe talk to like one or two chicks, and they don't even ask. When I say ask, they don't ask for what they want. You don't care about how she's finding the club today. You want to tell her that you find her attractive and you want to get to know her better, or you want to dance with her, or you want to, you know what I'm saying? Do what you gotta do. But you don't ask. You wanna know why you don't ask? Because you're scared of being rejected. And that fear of rejection right there is probably the only reason why most dudes don't get laid. Type shit. Just being hard, straight. You know what I'm saying? I'm just being real. That's what it is. Now, it's haram, right? I'm not condoning any of that, but I'm just speaking. I think these analogies one of the best analogies I can make because every dude can feel this, right? You gotta ask for what you want, right? Niggas will literally reject themselves when it's the girl's job to reject them. Niggas will literally go out on the streets, see a girl that they find attractive, and instead of putting themselves out there and ask for what they want, they wait for some coincidence where they're both put in the same scenario and they're kind of like forced to talk. Basically, they're waiting for things to come to them instead of going out and getting them, right? And that's the reason why most people don't get successful and they don't see the financial and social results that they want to have. As a man, it is your duty to go and take what you want. And I don't mean this in no weird shit, right? Bro, if you make that, bro, get the fuck out of here if you make the argument. I don't mean this in no like rape shit or none of that stuff right there, right? I mean, you have to put yourself out there and let the world know that you want what you want. Nobody is in your head. Nobody's gonna give you anything. You everything that you want, you have to ask for. People are not just gonna come in here and give you handouts without even knowing you want it. Be serious, dog. Be serious. And that's why I think this is the most important thing. And it's something so basic, right? And now that I'm saying to you right now, you're probably thinking, bro, what is this guy going on about? Like, bro, we get it, nigga. Like, this is not gonna make me successful. Look through your life. How many times have you wanted something and you didn't even ask for it? How many times have you seen a girl that you thought was pretty? Or maybe you were out, maybe you were out shopping on the streets doing whatever, doing on at the gym. You thought she was pretty. You wanted to talk to her, and instead of going up and asking for what you want, of letting the world, letting her, and letting everything God know what you want, you sat out there like the little loser you are, just being like, well, I'll wait. I'll wait until she looks at me, and if she looks at me and I look back at her and I smile, and then she smiles back at me, then I'll know that I can go. Come on, bro. Come on, bro. Be serious, my dog. You gotta go out and get what you want. And it's the same thing with life and business, right? Let me get another example for all my niggas working 9 to 5, man. If you want that, bro, nobody's gonna give you that raise if you don't ask for it, nigga. What you think your boss is gonna come? Bro, the whole purpose of a business is to make profit while having as little costs as possible. So it's in their best interests to pay you as minimum as possible while still keeping you working there. So if you want a motherfucking pay raise, you gotta go out there and ask for it. You gotta go to your manager and be like, hey man, I mean, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. I feel like I'm bringing this much revenue to the company. I'm bringing this much value compared to my peers who are making the same amount of money as me. I'm making this company more money. I'm saving this company time. I'm saving this company money, right? I think I deserve X amount of money. You ask, and then they're probably gonna say, they're probably not gonna go with you. They're probably not gonna go with it as as soon as you ask for it. But now they know that that's what you want, and then you can negotiate. Now you can be like, okay, why do you feel like I don't deserve that? And they tell you their reasons. And if there's any way for you to solve more problems and to do what's necessary to actually, in their mind, in their eyes, deserve that raise, you have a better shot at getting the raise. When you look out there in the world, the people who get things are not always the people who are most competent. They're not the people who are smarter. They're not the people who have the more connections. They're just simply the people who ask. And again, I come back to this analogy because it's the easiest analogy to use. How many times do you see what you think is like a pretty good looking girl with like a dude that you're like, how did this dude get her? Bro, while you and every other loser out there was just looking at her, that motherfucker turned his brain off and just asked her. It's that simple. It's really that simple. And I really want to stress on this because that's what's keeping most people stuck, right? You're in a 9 to 5, you want to maybe start a side hustle, and you're like, well, but how can I make money? Motherfucker, just ask, bro. Just ask. Okay, how can I get this much money? Okay, you think about all the businesses that maybe you've interacted with in the past or that you know. You think about all the skills that you have, all the connections that you have. You think about everything that you have that somebody else might value. And then you go out to them and you're like, okay, I have this thing that is valuable to you, this knowledge, skills, experience, whatever it is. Maybe it's a product, maybe it's a system, it's an SOP, whatever that is. You have this thing that is valuable to me, which is money. And you ask them to exchange the two things. And if that happens, you just made some money, bro. And it's really all that simple. And it's really all that simple. If you just ask for what you want, I promise you your life will get better. The reason why you don't have what you want is just simply because obviously you're not asking for it. But obviously some dumbass nigga is gonna now watch this and think, oh yeah, but I just asked for $1 million. Why didn't I get it? Yeah, because motherfucker, they still have to accept. But nobody can accept if nobody's asking. They're gonna accept what? Nothing. You gotta put yourself out there, man. Maybe you it's bro, it's if nobody knows you exist and that you want something, how is anybody ever going to give it to you? Because at the end of the day, money is exchanged by people. You don't print money, you just exchange money with other people, right? So people have to give it to you. That's why I'm saying asking is the most important thing. That's why I'm saying sales is the most important thing in life. It's the best skill to learn. if you want to make money, because money is just simply something that you give in exchange for something else, but exactly something that you give. If you want to make money, other people have to willingly give it to you. Otherwise, it's like a scam, right? You're stealing money, right? We don't do that over here. Other people have to willingly give you money, right? Obviously, in a morally and ethically acceptable way, right? We know running no OnlyFans management fucking agency stuff or some fucking demonic ass shit like that, right? But you get the concept, right? Ask. That's the one thing you gotta learn. If you're in sales, if you wanna get in sales, just apply this principle for everything that you want. And you'll see how you will get so much further ahead than everybody else. Just ask. You want that sales job at that company? Just ask for it. And now you say, oh, well, but it's not that simple. It's not as simple. I'm like, I tried to apply, but they didn't reply. Yeah, you didn't ask, you applied. Have you talked with the hiring manager or a recruiter that works at that company? Have you talked, if you're looking for that sales job, right? Best way to get a sales job is to actually sell yourself, which really selling yourself is all about. Just understanding the problems the customer has, realizing or making the prospect realize that you have the solution to those problems, and asking the prospect to exchange their money for the solution that you have to their problems. That's all that sales is, isn't it? Then, if you want to get a sales job, you gotta pick up the phone or send an email or send a voice note or a video message to whoever the hiring manager is. You find that contact, use tools. You can find shit on the internet, right? You can do pretty much anything on the internet. You find their information and you ask them for an opportunity to make your case as to why you think you're the best fit for this job. I'm guaranteeing you, if you call them, 1 out of 2 people that you call for a job position, and they pick up the phone and they reply, and you have a convo with them and you explain things to them even quickly, they'll give you an interview. Because nobody's doing that. Everybody's just applying. Send, easy apply, done. Right? And that's that. Honestly, that's all I have to give to you for today. Just ask. Just ask. If you want things to get better, just ask for it. You want to make more money? Just ask for it. Obviously, nothing's free, right? You have to give something in exchange for what you want, right? But if you ask, the chances of that deal happening are infinitely higher compared to the scenario in which you just don't ask. Because think about it. Just logically think about it. When you don't ask for what you want, what are the chances of you getting it? They're basically zero, because what you want is behind what somebody else has. They have to give it to you, especially when it comes to money, right? What are the chances that they're actually gonna give it to you if they don't even know that you want it? What are the chances that that girl is gonna come up and talk to you if she doesn't even know that you want to talk to her? Just ask, bro. It's really that simple. Thank you for your time today. Hopefully you found this valuable. If you did, comment below what you think about what I just said. Maybe you have a different opinion. Hey, I'm always open to learning. Subscribe, like, and I'll see you on the next one, man. Peace.